Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So student, in the previous class, we had completed this chapter, that is natural resources. Today, we are going to start again the chapter, that is matter around us pure. So, obviously we are going to see some of the important questions which is related to this chapter. So let us start again and try to understand the chapter. So see, the name of the chapter is matter around us pure. So we must know what is the matter and what is pure here. Talking about purity or impurity. Matter is what? We know that anything which is around us, which occupies space, which is having mass, that we call as a matter. And pure or impure substance is what? Which pure, how can you say that a milk is pure? It means all the particle of the milk is present in it. There is no addition of water in it, right? Or we can say that this is a pure solution. It means it basically consisting of that particular solute only, which is dissolved in water. So, pure substances means what? That is those substances in which only single or a distinct type of a particle are present in it. That we call as a pure solution or a pure only. Okay. So, what is a matter? Anything which occupies a space and have mass is called as matter. And pure substance is a single and distinct type of material that cannot be separated into any other type of matter by any physical process. So basically, what do we understand by the pure substance? See, if we talk about that this is what, this is an impure, what does that mean? It means it is actually a mixture of two substances. How can we make an impure substance a pure substance? By separating the mixture from each other, right? By separating the components which is present in it from each other. That is the that we call as an impure substance. What about in case of a pure substance? How can we say that this substance is a pure one? We can say it simply by looking that it must be what? It must be a single distinct type of a substance, a material which cannot be separated by any kind of a physical process or physical mean, that we call as a pure substance. So, matter is what, student? Matter is that the thing, this is surrounding through which we are, which is present around us, yes, which must have a mass, which must occupy space. And purity means that it cannot be separated into any other component. So in this chapter, we will going to study about the matter which is present around us. Is pure or not, or which one is a pure or which one is an impure or a mixture of anything. Okay, so let us try to understand. We have understood here what is a pure substance, the substance which is single, which is consisting of a same type of a molecule, same kind of a material, and yes, If it is consisting of the same kind of a material, if you want to try to separate it also, even there will be no such kind of a separation occur where the other kind of a component will be present in it. If you will separate it, it will again consisting of the same kind of a material in it. Only then we call that particular substance as a pure substance. So pure substance is a distinct type of a material which cannot be separated. Now, the division which we had done regarding that of a pure and impure substance, it is so basically, the earlier chapter, which is a deleted one, student, matter in our surrounding, when you look at the division of the matter, how matter has been classified, so let us look at it. So matter is basically classified into two types. The first one is the physical classification. This physical classification, students, we have studied, or we can say, although it is a deleted chapter, so yes, we can say that it is there in the previous chapter, matter in our surrounding. Although this will include the physical classification, basically divided into three types, that is solid, then liquid, and finally gas. Okay, so the physical classification occurs solid, liquid and gas, and we are knowing this property. Okay, so this is the physical classification of the matter. Matter is also classified into the other one, and that is chemical classification. In case of a chemical classification, which we will going to study in this chapter, it is divided into three types: elements, compounds, and finally mixture. Elements, compound and mixture. This mixture is again divided into two types, and that is homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous and heterogeneous. So this is the basic classification of the matter occur. Now what we have to study in this chapter, we will going to study about the chemical classification only, which will include the element, compound, mixture, and the division of the mixture here. Now, when we were talking about the purity, student, okay, so I'll drop this one. I hope you all are very aware of the properties of the solid, liquid, and gas. Solid, the intermolecular force of attraction in the solid is really very high. It is because of that only, because the interparticular distance is very less. Why a substance is a solid? You will say solid is having a shape, it is having a definite volume. Yes, so why it is having a definite shape? It is because the particles which is present in it are very close to each other. Okay, so if they are very close to each other, it means their particular distance between them is very less. Now, why the distance is less? It is because they are having the good force of attraction between them. So, intermolecular force of attraction between the solid particles are really high, and the interparticular distance is very less. It is because of that it is having a definite shape. It is because of that it is having a definite volume. What happened in case of the liquid? That the particles are a little bit far away from each other. So the interparticular distance between the particles is less. Yes, you can say it's a little bit far away than that of the solid. And intermolecular force of attraction is less as compared to that of the solid. In case of gases, the particles are very far away from each other. So the interparticular distance between the particles of the gases, they are very large. It is more, and the intermolecular force of attraction is least comparing to that of the solid and liquid. Okay, there are a lot of other things are there in the physical classification, but we do not have to study about this. We simply have to look after that of the chemical classification. Now, if we talk about the chemical classification, so see, in this chapter we will going to study about the pure substances. It means the matter which is pure. So this is the chemical classification. It means these all are included with the matter only. These all are the parts of the matter. Element, compound, mixture, they all are made up of particles. They can occupy space and even have mass also. So what see, if we look at the solid liquid physical classification, means we are actually checking the physical the outer appearance, the physical appearance we were talking about. But when we see here in the chemical classification, so we are looking about that from which it is made up of, what are the different chemicals present in the solid or in the liquid or in the gas. When you look at the solid, like if you take about if you take an example of a sugar. So sugar is what? It's a solid particle whose formula is what? C12H22O11. Right. So that is made up of chemically it consisting of a carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. It is an organic compound. If we talk about the water, which is H2O, that is consisting of a hydrogen and oxygen. Again, compound is there, element is also involved in it. And if we talk about the gases like O2 or H2, that is also what? That is also occupying space, that is also made up of a chemicals only. So the physical classification, the things which is there is what? It is somehow it is having some of the chemical properties also that is present in the chemical classification. Now let us move on and see what is the division here. See, if we talk about the element, compound and mixture, in all the three, what do you think that which one is having the pure substance? So elements are considered to be a pure substance, not only element but even the compound also. Now when we have understood the pure substance, we have seen that the definition says that pure substance is what is a substance which consisting of a single and a distinct type of a particle and which cannot be separated into a new component or cannot be separated from each other into two different components, because it is made up of a one component only. So if we will separate it, only one component will be present there. So that is what? That is a pure substance. So the element and compound, they are what? They are the pure substance. So if we look, if we take an example of an element, suppose we have taken here, we have taken a copper wire and the formula of the copper is Cu. Okay, so the whole copper wire, it is what? It is made up of the copper element only, right? It's consisting of the copper only. So when you separate it, when you break it also, what happened? We will say this is a small portion of the copper wire, this is also a small portion of a copper wire. So it is what? It is a pure substance. We cannot divide it further, it cannot be divided further. In case of a compound also, student, compound like water. So when you have taken the water, the formula will remain H2O. Doesn't matter from where you are taking it. You are taking a distilled water, you are taking pond water, you are taking sea water, it will always remain H2O only. So the formula remains the same, it does not changes. So it is because of that, element and compound, both of them, we consider them as a pure substance. Because these all are made up of a single distinct molecule. Okay, now see. In case of a mixture is what, student? Mixture is basically, the name mixture means it consisting of a two or more component. Compound is also made up of a two or more component. But we cannot separate it into the different substances, okay, different components. If we want to separate it by physical process, remember, with the physical process we cannot separate it. Yes, with the chemical process we can separate it. Like if we take an example of a H2O, of a compound. So H2O is what? Is it water? So question is it possible to separate it physically? How? By evaporating. So if you will evaporate, it will get converted into gases. That is, it will get converted into water vapor. Now, what is the formula of the water vapor? You will say it is H2O also, or H2O again. Okay. Now you have converted it into a solid one. Now, what is the formula of the ice? It is H2O only. So the formula will remains the same. It means the compound we cannot separate it through freezing or through that of the evaporation, or even through any kind of other method, by distillation, by fractional distillation, that we will going to study in the same chapter. So we cannot separate it by any kind of a physical process. But in a chemical process, yes, we can. How? By electrolysis method. H2O, when it undergoes the process of electrolytic decomposition, it means when we pass the electricity through it, it will get converted into H2 plus O2. Okay, so we can say here that yes, it can be separated through the chemical process, not through any physical process. Okay. Okay, now let us start. Okay, now what happened in case of a mixture? Mixture, we call mixture is what? That is an impure substance. Mixture is an impure substance. It means we can separate it into the different components with the help of the physical process. Like if suppose we have taken the sugar solution, we have taken water and we added sugar into it and dissolved it. Now when you evaporate it, what happened? The water will get evaporated, but the sugar crystal will remain present in the glass tumbler. Right, so we can say here that the mixture, it can be separated with the help of the physical process, and since it is consisting of different components present in it which can be separated, or we can say it is made up of not a single but more than a one type of distinct substances. That's why it is what? It is a mixture only. Now now let us see here each of them one by one in detail. What is element, what is compound, as well as what is mixture. Okay, so what is an element, student? Element is what? It is the simplest form of a pure substance. It is a simplest which cannot be broken, broken into nor built up from still simpler substance. Still simpler substance by any physical process. Simplest form of pure substance which cannot be broken into nor built up from still simpler substance by any physical process. So elements are what? Which cannot be divided further, which cannot be broken, or even which cannot be made up of a very smaller substance. This is still the smaller one. Okay, we cannot break it. Okay, we cannot divide it further, which cannot be divided further. So it's what? It is a pure substance, student. Now there are 118 elements are there. Example, there are a lot of example of the element: magnesium, copper, aluminium, bromine, silver, gold, platinum, sodium, potassium, iron. These all are zinc. These all are what? These are some of the common elements that we are known about, there are a lot more. 118 elements are present there. So these all elements are what? These all are the pure substances, come under the pure substances. Okay, why they are called as a pure substance? So in a simpler term, we can say that since they are made up of only one kind of an atom, that's why it is a pure substance. So another definition of an element that we can write here, that is element is a pure substance which is made up of one kind of atom, which is made up of only one kind of atom. So it is a pure substances which cannot be divided further and which is made up of only one kind of a atom. Now, I told you that there are lot of elements are present, but okay, we can say that these all are the pure substance, but is their properties are same, students? No. Their properties are different from each other, and on the basis of that, we have classified the elements also into three types. That is, element is divided into metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Metalloids. Okay, metals, non-metals, and metalloids. If we talk about the metals and non-metals, there are a lot of physical property as well as they differ from each other on the basis of the chemical properties also. Metalloid is what? It's a kind of a intermediate between that of the metal and the non-metal. It means it used to show both of the properties, some of the properties of the metal, some of the properties of the non-metal here. So we were going to study about the metals, non-metals as well as metalloids. Let us start with the first one, and that is metals. So let us start with the physical property. In this chapter, we will going to study only about the physical property. We do not have to study about the chemical properties that we will going to study in class 10th. So the general properties of the metal, the first one is that most of the metals are what? They exist at a they exist in the form of a solid state at room temperature. So most of the metals exist in solid state at room temperature. So metals, they generally exist in a solid state. When you look at all the metals like copper, aluminium, iron, zinc, cobalt, these all are what? These all are the metal. Aluminium, these all are the metal and they exist in the form of a solid state. Yes, there is an exception. An exception is mercury. Mercury is what? It is an exception which exists in a liquid state, while all other metals, they exist only in the solid state. The second property, that is metals are generally malleable. What is the meaning of a malleability or malleable, students? When we beat the metal with the solid object with a hammer, it can be drawn into thin sheets, and this property is called as a malleability. All the metals shows these properties, they are called as a malleable only. Okay, like You see, the example is iron sheet, aluminium foil, or zinc sheets, or silver foil that is used for the decoration of the sweets. So why they are so thin? So it is because of the property of the malleability. It can be drawn into a fine sheet, into a thin sheets. Okay, so generally the metals are what? They are malleable. Okay, they can be drawn into thin sheets. The next one is the metals are generally ductile. This we will going to study tomorrow.